So here we are. 2020 is finally over. It's been a wild ride, but there are still some lingering effects and new challenges as well as opportunities on the horizon in 2021 for the swimming pool industry and pool owners. Hey everyone, Lance with Pool Aid Pros here, and on this channel we make tutorials, product reviews, and pro tips for both the seasoned professional and the homeowner. In this video, I'd like to talk about some of the events of the last year that have had an effect on the swimming pool industry and will continue to affect the industry into 2021. First of all, COVID-19 has affected virtually every aspect of our lives, and the swimming pool industry is no exception. Now, first, I want to acknowledge that this virus has taken far more from some people than just a simple convenience, and our thoughts go out to all those who have lost loved ones to this virus. But this channel is about swimming pools, so that's what we're going to continue to focus on. If you owned a pool coming into 2020, maybe it was a little neglected, maybe there were some repairs that were a little bit past due. Well, once we were all locked down, maybe you thought it was time to finally get some of those renovations done. Well, you weren't alone. Maybe you didn't have a swimming pool, but you were thinking about getting one. Again, you weren't alone. Pool builders seem to all have backlogs of work. Some I have heard as far as 2 years. Is that too long to wait? Maybe an above ground pool would be a quick and easy way to get some backyard family fun. Well, manufacturers of above ground pools were caught off guard also by the sudden demand due to the virus and lockdown, and are backordered, some as far as 2 years. Moving on to the current Trichloro shortage. The shortage has become glaringly apparent after chemical plant fires at 2 major manufacturing plants. Trichlor is the most common sanitizer in use, usually in tablets or sticks, that dissolves slowly for time-released sanitizing effects. First, Optima Chemical Plant in Bell, West Virginia experienced an explosion which caused a blaze that took the local fire department the whole night to get under control. Later in the year, another plant experienced a fire. This time, the Biolab plant in Westlake, Louisiana was hit by Hurricane Laura. The ensuing fire took 2 days to extinguish. Now, I want to emphasize that the turnaround for getting these plants back up and running is not a short-term proposal. The specialization of the equipment in these plants and the extent of the damage means that recovery will take a matter of years to rebuild, not just months. This comes after the Trichlor supply was already stretched thin before these fires. Well, what alternatives are there for replacing your Trichlor system? Well, there's pretty much just salt and AOP, or advanced oxidation process, for alternative sanitizer sources. But you could also try to stretch your current stock of Trichlor tabs by using methods to boost the effectiveness of your Trichlor, such as UV, mineral systems, and ozone. Now, these methods are not meant to be used exclusively in your pool without a sanitizer, but rather can reduce demand for sanitizer, allowing it to go further. The lowest cost and most low-tech option would be just to continue using a liquid or granular shock in your pool, along with staying on top of your cyanuric acid levels. We'll continue to keep you up to date on the Trichlor situation, as well as bring you ways to manage this sanitizer shortage. Now moving on to the coming 2021 Department of Energy's Dedicated Purpose Pool Pump Regulations, or DP3. Now, this goes into effect on July 19th, 2021, and the companies that manufacture pumps and motors for use in the US will have to halt production of single-speed pumps and motors on that date, July 19th. This legislation is designed to bring an influx of more energy-efficient variable-speed pumps into the market. Companies will no longer be allowed to manufacture single-speed motors 1 horsepower and greater. I heard from one brand rep that they're boosting manufacturing of single-speed pumps and motors to have a large inventory when they must stop production on July 19th, and I'm sure that this is the case with all the manufacturers. The rep also added that many of these may be kept for company use to support warranty claims, so they won't have to send consumers the more expensive variable-speed motors to replace the cheaper single-speed motors that may have failed prematurely. Either way, after July 19th, 2021, supplies of single and double-speed motors will only continue to go down. What does this mean for you, the homeowner? Well, you won't need to worry until your current motor or pump fails. Well, what options will you have if your pump fails after the stock of single and double-speed motors have depleted? Well, there are a few things you can try. First, if just the motor has failed, you can take it to an electric motor repair shop. I have a local shop that I use sometimes, but keep in mind that these motors can't continue to be repaired indefinitely. I also have no doubt that some sort of black market for cheap single-speed motors will form. Now, I know it feels like I'm trying to make it sound super sketchy and illegal, but all I'm referring to is if you try to source your own single-speed motor a few years down the line, be careful. Those motors could be of inferior quality, they could be sold as new, but really be refurbished or even just used because of no regulation on single-speed motors. A more recommended option would be to save a little money by only replacing the motor of your pump with a variable speed replacement motor. This is a more legitimate option, as motor manufacturers are working to make sure they offer replacement motors for all the major pump manufacturers. Well, maybe you're thinking, well, hold on a second. You said motors 1 horsepower and above won't be made. Well, can't I just replace my single-speed motor with another single-speed motor that's just below 1 horsepower? No. Without getting too technical, your pool is specifically designed with the size pump it has, taking into account the length and size of your overall plumbing, the type of filtration system, and the pool volume. If you go with a potentially underpowered motor, your pool can experience poor flow, which can cause problems for your pool such as algae growth, stagnation, cloudy water, and several other things. Well, let's say that you're open to investing in a new variable speed pump. Well, let's measure the pros and cons. First, we'll look at the cons, and really there's just one, and that's that a variable speed pump can cost 2 to 3 times the initial cost of a single speed. Now, I know that can be a big pill to swallow, especially when you factor installation into the cost, but that's about it as far as cons go. And now we'll start with the pros. With that 2 to 3 times cost comes 2 to 3 times in longevity. So really, you're already getting equivalent value for your extra money spent. We could stop there and it'd pretty much be a wash, but fortunately, we're not stopping there. There's also energy efficiency. We'll do a deep dive into efficiency numbers in a later video, but for now, just understand that most manufacturers claim that energy savings can pay for the pump in a matter of a year or two. What about noise? Well, when running on lower RPMs, these pumps can be whisper quiet, which I think is a big positive. Swimming in your pool should be relaxing. Do you really want the loud mechanical thrum of your pool pump running at full speed? This comes from experience, as I've seen some interesting attempts to block pool equipment noise. Well, if you'd like to see articles related to these topics, check out the information in the video description below. Well, I hope I've helped prepare you for the coming pool year. If you found value in this video, please hit the like button. And if you'd like to see more videos from us in the future, click that subscribe button and the bell for good measure. Of course, we'll continue to release new content to help you all have a great pool season, and we'll see you in the next video.